Hello folks, this is Kyle here. I've been thinking about starting a YouTube show that is sure to be awful. I'm thinking about as in it promising you nothing and hoping to meet that promise every single time. So you should tune in for that. Mostly it might be just a video journal of my thoughts, which are occasionally awesome, but mostly very boring. So keep your expectations very low. And most likely no one will watch this. It'll be for posterity, I guess. But again, I making a show that promises you nothing and seeks to meet that promise every time. And whoever's listening to this, if you actually ever want to comment on these videos, you are welcome to do so. If there's something you want me to talk about, I might just do it. Right now I'm heading across Tennessee, heading to Huntsville, Alabama. Maybe I'll get there. We'll see. Either I'll get there or I'll die on the way, I suppose. But hopefully we won't die on the way. So, this is the launching video. I should have put something together to maybe talk about. I was eating a bowl of popcorn, which is something, if you've not driven and eaten a bowl of popcorn at the same time, it is a pleasure. I tell you what, a pleasure to eat a bowl of popcorn just about anywhere. I should tell you about the audiobook I've been listening to. I was listening to it right before I started this video, but it's on the Wright Brothers, and I am on the edge of my seat listening to it. It is exciting. I can't imagine living in the early 1900s, never having seen man flown an airplane before, and all of a sudden, and many people don't even believe that flying will ever be possible by man. And all of a sudden, for these guys to come up with an airplane that they can fly for hours, it's extraordinary. People's minds were blown away. I can't imagine that situation. It'd be like someone coming out with a time machine right now, because most of us believe that probably wouldn't be able to make a time machine, but then someone comes out, we have a time machine, and they prove it, we would go nuts. And they'd probably destroy the timeline right away, so we would be so excited, and then we wouldn't have been born, which is what you do with a time machine. That's what movies have taught me. What happens when you get a time machine? Just problems. Is you mess up everything. And if you're lucky, if it's that kind of movie, you'll fix the problems. But if you're unlucky, and it'll plunge the earth into chaos. Or people will be traveling back and forth, killing other people and trying to solve or make more problems. All of a sudden you'll find yourself shot by a robot from the future. Anyway, robots from the future are not what the Wright Brothers are about. But as I'm listening to it, Orville Wright just recently crashed in one of his planes while I'm listening to it. Not recently, because it's in the, 1905 or 1904 or something like that. But he's okay. He's okay. I don't want to give it away. I mean, he's dead now, because that was a long time ago, but he did not die from this crash. Yet to hear how they died. Well, I suppose maybe the end of the book will tell me. But it is exciting. extraordinary, though, that, 1904, they fly an airplane for the first time, and then 66 years later, only 66 years later, we step on the moon. I think that's crazy. So we step on the moon just 66 later, 66 short years later. That's an easy lifespan. Someone could have been 10 when the airplane was invented. I'm sure lots of people were in this situation. Airplane invented, and then they could be 76 and there's a man walking on the moon. I can't fathom that. Nothing extraordinary has happened in my lifetime. What, 80s? Nothing. 90s? Nothing. 2010s? If that's what it's called? I don't know. Nothing. Nothing extraordinary. Nothing that comes to mind, I guess. Little things. Now, if we walked on Mars, how come we're not walking on Mars? Isn't that the next step? 66 years from then to walking on the moon, that was in the 60s. We're another 50 years since then or something like that. Why are we not walking on Mars? Or some other planet? Huh? How come we're not colonizing the moon by now? By the time I'm 60-something, I want to live on the moon. I want to be the first homeless man to live on the moon. I'm just going to go there and start begging for money. Because I'm sure it would have taken every cent I had to get to the moon. Every red cent. Whatever that means. So, what else should we talk about? I've been unsure how long to make these videos. For some reason, it struck me to do it for only 8 minutes, but we're 8 minutes now. And I should give you a treat with a longer video, right? Especially since I got like a 45-minute, well, I still got like an hour drive ahead of me. That's what you want to listen to me for an hour. I'm sure it would be a pleasure for you guys to listen to me for an hour. A delight. And my plan is this weekend to try to figure out a little bit of YouTube. Huh? Start this video channel that no one's going to watch. Except for me. I can start it up and be like, there's me, talking on a video. Boy, don't it look good. Don't that mustache look good. Those videos for me, really. If you're watching this and you're not me, well, thank you for stopping by. But remember, I didn't promise to give you anything of value. If you get something of value from these videos, then good on you, because that was you making the most of a bad situation. Consider it a challenge to you to get value. But maybe you learned something about the Wright Brothers. Their story is extraordinary. I think the book is by David Mccullough, maybe. But it was great. I'm like on the edge of my seat. I was hesitant to even do this video because I wanted to listen to the rest of that book. And I knew there was great value in me listening to that book, and there's probably very little value in you watching this video. So you should probably go out and just start listening to that audiobook. Audiobooks are great. Probably the only reading I've been doing lately is by audiobooks. I should say, in that same vein, I've been listening to the book Hidden Figures, which is also about aeronautics, the study of flight, except that's also about aerospace, which is the study of flight through space. So if you're interested in aeronautics, or you're interested in humans doing amazing things, either of these books, about the Wright Brothers, about Hidden Figures, that's why I've been thinking about my own mind blown about 66 light years between them. One, first flight of an airplane, and the other one, first landing on the moon. It's crazy that much stuff happened. Brilliant people at work at both fronts. Many people in the space program, but just these two brothers hard at work on the Wright Brothers. Cool guys, the Wright Brothers. No formal education, but they knew history, literature, art, engineering, mechanics, architecture. They were geniuses in their time, self-taught, all of this stuff, avid readers, what am I trying to say? Avid studiers of things. They read a ton. They ran a bicycle shop, selling bicycles that they also really loved and would argue about. They would argue about how to build their plane over and over again, would debate and talk and reason over and test. They used the scientific method better than anybody interested in aeronautics at the time. Any other people who fancied themselves flyers or pilots did not use scientific method like the Wright Brothers did. Testing over and over again, different designs, using a wind tunnel. This is like in 1902, using a wind tunnel to test different shapes of wings. Makes me jealous. Makes me wish I would read more, which is one thing. I wish I knew more about all those things, history, art, etc., engineering, math, science. Sometimes I think self-taught people are much more brilliant than our education system has been able to teach the rest of us. But a lot of that is on us. If we want to be self-taught, we gotta teach ourselves, which I think that's hard. But sometimes education system makes us lose our love for education. That's like a whole other topic. That said, self-teaching yourself could start with reading this book by the Wright Brothers, about the Wright Brothers. Anyway, I might end this video here. Again, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Again, this is a video promising you nothing and trying to deliver on that promise every time. Talk to you guys later. Thanks.